So I was jamming around last night and I came up with this sweet little exercise or routine that I was really excited to share with everybody because I think it's perfect for beginner to advanced players. We'll get into a method of doing it super easily for beginners and then take it with more intricate picking for more advanced players. But it's just perfect for what I think of as precision riffing, that Metallica type riffing, just how precise those and badass those riffs are. And how do you get there? I think it's through little fundamental building blocks like this exercise that I'm about to show you here that can help you with precision, note recognition, hand-eye coordination, cleanliness, and just definition and proficiency in your playing. So let's take a look at it first. What we're going to be doing here, I'm tuned to E standard, and we're only going to use 4 notes. It couldn't be easier. A sharp, B, and C. We'll do the power chord versions as well. But then we're also going to do it in this register here, exact same notes. A sharp, B, C. So it's the same as, and same as. And I'll call out those numbers. Open, that's open on the 5th string, or A. When I go here, it's also an A, but I'm going to say 5 on the 6th string there. Again, same thing. And the whole point of it is going just back and forth between those. You hear how clean that was? That takes time. Some of you might be able to do that right away, but others that try to jump into it at that speed, it won't sound as clean. And the point of it all is getting it clean, and we're going to work on that. I'm going to, like I said, take you through. I'm going to put on a metronome in little parts here and take you through step by step, starting with beginner. So either bear with that or skip ahead if you're more advanced. But I recommend at least once checking it out here just to kind of see what's going on, wrap your head around everything, and then moving on to the more difficult stuff, or staying right here and just focusing on the easy stuff until you're ready. So I put it into kind of like a little rhythmic pattern that I'll explain here. And you know what? Let's make it even easier. Let's only use 3 notes, A sharp, and B. Because the little rhythmic exercise I put together for you, it kind of goes like this. Back down. So we're not even going to use the C going up 1, we're going back down. So once you get that down, let's alternate every note between the 2 strings. Now for beginner players, even that's going to be difficult. We can slow it way down. Open 5, open 5, open 5, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6. And to get even more familiar with that pattern, I'm just going to do the open on the 5th string like this. I hear it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how I think about it. So let's do that. Each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move the 6th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that you have a feel for kind of the rhythmic pattern that's going on and the melody that's happening. Da, 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 da. So again, just super easy. This isn't meant to be some like badass song or anything like that. There's nothing fancy or glamorous about it. But as we keep going, you'll see the discipline that it takes to go back and forth like that, especially as you increase tempo and keeping it clean. Again, that's the most important thing. So let's get into trying to play the back and forth, up and down. 2, 3, 4. Open 5, open 5, open 5, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6. How about power chords? And even I'm not getting it super clean there. I could get it cleaner if I wasn't thinking about giving a lesson on this at the same time. Just a little disclaimer there. But so you see how difficult that can be? Give it a try if you haven't already, right now. So let's slow it down a little bit, make it a little bit easier. See that? It takes a lot of practice to get that tight. Go ahead and work on that for a little while, and I'll wait. Just kidding. This is something you can come back to all the time. And again, we're going to take it even further in a second here. But this is something you can come back to all the time and keep practicing over and over again. Because like I said, it takes a lot of discipline. We're going to move into the intricate part next, adding a little more additional picking for the more advanced players. But before we do that, let's try this to a metronome here. So I like this Pro Metronome app. It was recommended to me like over a decade ago, and it just works. So I've been using it ever since. I recommend it. Again, Pro Metronome. You just set up your tempo there. 140 might be a little fast. Let's try that. So that feels like an appropriate tempo for me, and we'll work up to that. Let's start with 120. Here we go. So again, all we're doing there is doing the same notes. Da, 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 up half step, da, 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 back down half step, da, da. But each note, each strum, we're alternating between two different places on the neck, which if you have two guitarists in your band or anything like that is badass. I used to watch those Metallica DVDs, like the Live Shift, Binge, and Purge, and sometimes I'd notice James and Kirk would be playing the same riff, but in different registers of the neck. If you watch the video closely, you can see that in certain parts. I don't remember exactly where, maybe Creeping Death or Sanitarium, things like that, where you'd see them playing at different places. And as a kid, I thought, oh, that must just add an extra fullness to the sound, because I could tell even at that time that they were playing the same note, but in different places. And it just seems like a Metallica thing to do, to make a bigger, bolder sound. You know, they must have thought in the studio, oh, if I play it here, you play it here, it's just going to be bigger, which I think rings true. I mean, it's more strings in this case. It's an additional string there. So anyways, just a knowledge of that, and that you could play the same riff in totally different parts of the neck is a huge asset to have. If you need to convert for whatever reason, you're in a different tuning, you're on a 7-string. Just having that ability is just more vocabulary when it comes to the guitar, and you could speak the language a little bit better. So again, that was 120 that we just did there. 140 would certainly be more advanced, and we're not even to the advanced picking yet. But I'm gonna go back up to 140. 2, 3, 4. Here it'd be like that. Let's try it. hear that precision? At least I hope it sounds precise. I'm listening to every single chord and I'm honing in. Oh, that one I didn't hit quite as true as I wanted. So at the next go around, I want to make sure I hit that properly. I'm thinking about those things. Also, I'm looking down at, when I'm here, I'm looking at the 5th fret chord that I'm going to go to. Here, I'm looking at the 6th fret before I even hit it. And that's a little trade secret. You know, when you're going to do a big jump somewhere on the neck, focus your eyes there first, but that also takes knowing what you're playing down below so you can take your eyes off of it. In this case, it's very easy because we're just doing one chord there. But the fact that they're happening quickly like that, you need to have good hand-eye coordination, looking down. Where am I going to jump to? I'm thinking about all those things. Also, it's just a great warm-up, really gets the blood flowing. That's kind of how I stumbled upon it. You know, I was just kind of warming up, getting ready to track some things, and I just started doing that, and I was like, this is something good that I think players can relate to because it's very easy to understand. Okay, so finally here, if you got all that, again, just work on it. If you're starting fresh, start like that, single string. As fast as you can, build up to your speed. Start much slower if you need to, and kind of work up. And each day, like I said, overnight, you'll notice a difference overnight. Let's get into the more intricate part here. It's pretty simple on the surface, a little more difficult to execute. So what I'm going to do here is so I'm going big accent, and then 1, 2, 3. You hear the accent is on the chord each time, and then there's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, little gallop in between each one. So. Started thinking about what I was going to say next there, which is accenting each note. Add in those pickings. One thing I want to say too is you got to keep your hand on it so no opens ring through, like you just maybe heard me do there. If I were to take my hand off, listen to that difference. Instead, we want. Discipline. So, should we jump right into 140 or should we try it at 120? Let's go to 120 first. All right, 140, which is kind of like what I feel like I wrote it at. Little metronome trick here, maybe you totally know it, but if not, there's a tap button on all these metronome things. And so what I do is I just kind of play the riff whenever I'm playing it, and I'm paying attention to my foot, how I'm tapping that. And then I'll just go to the tap, and I'll do it the same, and I'll see, oh, it's 140 or 139, 138, 142, somewhere in there, and I'll just set it to 140. So that's how I tap out a lot of riffs to feel out their tempo. So 140 felt about good to me as I started working on it. Here we go. See, I even got a mistake in there too. So mistakes are okay as long as you are aware of them, think about them, and try to correct them the next go around. And doing that and having that mentality cleans up your playing significantly over time. I told a little story in a recent video about a Guitar World article I read with, it was like Nuno Betancourt or something way back in the day, where he said when he's practicing something, he'd never proceed past his mistakes. He'd start over. He's doing some run. He's trying to learn some lick. He's writing something. He makes a mistake. He stops, goes back, starts it over until he gets it, and until he makes it past that part without making a mistake. Then he makes another mistake, stops, starts over. I started implementing that early on, and I think it made a huge improvement because you just keep improving the point that you've made it up to before making the mistake every time you start over until you get just fluid with it. And that's what great playing's all about, being able to take your mind off of it and just kind of being coasting on autopilot to be able to play whatever it is you need to play along with the band, all the other musicians that are playing with you, other instruments you're hearing going on and stuff like that, to be able to not block that out, but just gel with it and to be able to take your mind off it, play and perform the way you need to, the way you want to, and, appease the people. So, man, I tried to explain this well. I hope I did. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I love doing this type of stuff. I love to make more of them. This was kind of an impromptu thing for those who are interested. So if you've made it this far, I totally appreciate you. Check out my guitar DVD, shipping with 10 free guitar picks, worldwide shipping, free shipping, all that, plus my Patreon community where you can get guitar tabs for everything I got going on, plus so much more. If you want to get a little closer, make sure you check that out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's a huge help to me at no cost or obligation to you. Check out the description box below for tons of cool stuff that you can check out if you're interested in more. Thank you so much. Rob Arnold signing off. See you on the next one. Happy shredding.